Good afternoon. Can anybody hear me? Sorry about that. A little bit of technical issues. All right, let's get started. All right. But anyways, good afternoon. My name is Chris. I'm the host of Hilliker Daily Talk Hot Takes. Sorry, can't speak today. I launched this because I've been watching and don't like the way the world's been going for several years. I do believe Trump is doing a hell of a job from taking care of what's going on in Iran to cleaning up our borders, our southern border especially, and removing all illegals that are not good for this country. But all right, let's get going. All right. I prefer a president who blows away our enemies rather than nicking billions and billions of dollars of pallets into the Middle East, right into Iran, which Obama did right on June 16th, 2016. And our president blew it away. Let's see here. I think I got a picture of this. I do not. But we've also got ICE agents that are actually really nice guys if they're not getting chased down by cars, such as, where is it? Sorry, this is my first time. I'm still working on things. Wrong picture. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm fighting my computer. It's not wanting to work properly. I don't know. Travelers nationwide seek to realize that ICE agents are actually pretty friendly when nobody is trying to kill them with an SUV. Which we all seen during the Minneapolis people call them protesters. We all know they're rioters, and they're paid. George Soros and others. I believe that we need our ICE agents. They're doing what we hired them to do. They are not out there just killing and making they're not our enemies. They're helping us. Anyways, let's move on. All right. President Trump says funding for ICE and Border Patrol is now being fast-tracked through the U.S. Senate via reconciliation. We only need 50 senators and J.D. Vance to pass it. That means if we can get 50 Americans, not these fake woke politicians, to actually do their damn job, then yes, it will be fast-tracked. I don't think we have a problem with J.D. Vance doing it. If you think, oh shoot, sorry, JD is going to be number 48. I'm pretty sure. America first. Sorry. If there's anybody in the chat, I'd like, what's your guys' thoughts on what's going on with America and with the ICE agents? Let's see here. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties trying to figure out this computer. All right, let's add a little bit of funniness into this.
Hey, what's the Wi-Fi password?
MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+.
One more time?
MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+.
One more time?
MMIW G2SLGBTQQIA+.
Forget it. I'll just use my hotspot.
That is worse than any password I've ever seen.
Like, what? And honestly, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to clap back at me for saying this, please drop your college degree in the comments before you start talking shit.
There it is. Okay. I can put an end to this debate right now that you have to, in order to be smart, you have to have a college degree. And the thing is I can do this, and even if you're a Democrat or a liberal, you're gonna go, yeah, I can't argue with it. Roll it.
Underestimate.
Degree from Yale and Harvard.
Yeah, I don't have a college degree, but I think I could have done better than that. Oh. But anyways, let's keep going. Update. On Iran. We have today. Did we get a picture of that? On my social media. Got a Truth Social update from Trump today. Iran promises to open the Straits of Hormuz, and they knowingly failed to do so. This caused anxiety, disaster, and pain to many people, countries throughout the world. They say they put mines in waters, even though all their navy and most of their mines drops have been completely blown up. They may have done so, but what ship owner would want to take the chance? There is a great disorder and primarily harm to repleting of Iran and what's left on their leaders. But we are beyond all that. As they promised, they'd better begin the process of getting the initial waterway open and fast. Every law in the books is being violated by them. I have been fully briefed by J.D. Vance, Specialist Avery Stevens, and Jared Kasner, however you pronounce that, on the meeting that took place in Lebanon. Though the kind and very complete leadership of Field Marshal, blah, 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 blah. But that lasted close to 20 hours and got nowhere. That's what happens when you try to negotiate with a terrorist. What's going to end up happening is it's going to end up being power plant and bridge day. Or as they like to say, FAFO. Oh, wrong button. actually got a video on the Iran talk piece. Let me figure out which one it is. This might be it.
That the media now criticizing Donald Trump. I can't believe he's bullying NATO. He's saying nothing different than Obama said. And when Obama said it, they were...
Wrong one.
Look out, conservative.
No, that one disappeared. Actually, let's play that and talk about NATO.
That the media now criticizing Donald Trump. I can't believe he's bullying NATO. He's saying nothing different than Obama said. And when Obama said it, they were like barking, clapping seals. Like, go Obama. Dan, it sounds like they don't have any principles, kind of like the Doomers. Because they don't. Check it out.
And finally, after many years, NATO has stopped the collective decline in defense spending. Over the past 2 years, most NATO members have halted cuts and begun investing more in defense. And this means defense spending across the alliance is now scheduled to increase. I especially want to commend our friends in the UK, Poland, Greece, Estonia, all who, along with the United States, pay their full share of at least 2% of GDP for our collective defense. But for those of you doing the math, that means that the majority of allies are still not hitting that 2% mark, an obligation we agreed to in Wales. So we had a very candid conversation about this. There's a recognition that given the range of threats that we face and the capabilities that we need, everybody's got to step up and everybody's got to do better.
Where were the MSNOWs and others at the time criticizing Obama for saying the exact thing Trump is saying? Where? The answer is nowhere, because they don't have any principles. Their principle is we hate Donald Trump. If Donald Trump likes apples, we hate apples.
All right, 10 reasons we should leave NATO. 1, American first means American first. We shouldn't be tied to organizations that force us into conflicts that don't directly benefit the U.S. 2, on secure borders. The U.S. pays massive shares of NATO's cost, while many calls for shots and different spending. Endless foreign engagements. NATO increases the risk of being dragged into wars that aren't our fights. 4, ensure different. It's blah 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 blah. Outstanding Cold Wars, risk of escalation. The list goes on. We should just leave NATO. Move on. Here's one that weighs on everybody's hearts. Never forget Charlie. His death. Never. And what all the left are supposed right-wingers are doing to him, especially his wife, tearing his family apart.
I would like for you to have a more principled position on tariffs and criticize Donald Trump for his tariffs.
Well, I'm super pro-tariff, so why would I criticize it?
Because they make us poor.
Okay, so let's play that out. If that is correct, how did China get so rich?
Well, China has they liberalized their economy. They got a stock market.
You are not allowed to import American goods in China. How are they so rich?
Because they have developed capital. They're
not liberalized. So how'd they get so rich?
They've become more economically free. So over the last 30 years, they made an incredible transformation.
So why can't we do the same?
Just because China is making a mistake doesn't mean we should make the same mistake.
But
China would be richer if they didn't have tariffs.
But let's first of all, number one, the optimal goal is not just to improve GDP or be rich.
Of course.
Number two, it's about worker well-being, middle class flourishing.
Yes.
Number three, can you point to times in American history where the middle class did great? Almost
Yes.
every time we had tariffs.
Okay, but that's correlation, not causation.
No, it is.
That's,
Well,
no,
hold on, but think
no
about it.
economist agrees with you. You're wrong
Hold
about
on,
this.
But I'm sorry. First of all, that's not true. Some agree. Most do not agree.
Yeah,
But a lot
exactly.
of these economists are bought and paid for by the corporate class, and they've been wrong about almost everything the last couple of years. They're the ones that said Trump was going to wreck the economy, that Biden was the best president ever to come to the economy. So I reject a lot of the experts when it comes to this.
I agree on tariffs. And it's always the left wing federal judges that are trying to block it. Our economy has gotten a lot better since we've had them. It's gotten a lot better since we've had Trump. And that's the truth. Yeah, we might have rising gas prices because of the war. That's not set up because of Trump's war or our war. That is definitely 100% fear raising. It's not real. It's just to drive up the cost. And you look at it. We actually had a lot higher gas prices under Obama. We had a good country when we handed it over to the Biden administration. And then we had 4 years of it being tore apart, illegals being brought in, and it's Trump's been in just over a year. What do you expect him to be able to do in that time? He's done a lot in a short amount of time. And we're going to have, hopefully we win the midterms. Hopefully we have JD Vance on S48. We could get another 4 years ran just like this. Our economy will be booming. Oh, I got a video. Right here.
We busted this story wide open about this gay TikToker that was causing Erica Kirk problems, alleging that she had spent $1,500 the day after Charlie Kirk was murdered to buy fashionista gear. This is Mikey McCoy's wife. So she finally makes a statement about this thing that we blew up at the top of the week here. Here she goes. I posted this on Instagram yesterday, posting here today so everyone can see how ridiculous this situation is. I was the one who made the aloe purchase in person in Utah. When we got the call that Charlie had been shot, we rushed from the office and into the airplane. We arrived in Utah with nothing but the clothes we were wearing. We were in those clothes all day at the hospital and slept in them that night. The next morning, our friend Stacy handed me her card, and I went out and picked up some items and toiletries for various team members and Erica.
Sorry about that. What they're doing to Erica is outright shameful. It's not what Charlie would want. I don't know him personally and never did. But me as a husband, as a father, that's not what I would want. If I was murdered, and I wouldn't want them to do that to my wife, my kids, I can't fashion it. What the left wing or fake conservatives are doing, no. All right, let's move along. Let's show this. President Trump shared this on his Truth. Here's a total amount of taxpayers' money that is in the past 10 presidents took salary. Trump, nothing. Biden, 1.6 million. Obama, 3.2 million. Bush, 3.2. Clinton, 1.6. Bush Sr., 800K. Reagan, 1.6 million. Carter, 800K. Ford, 500K. Nixon, 1.1 million. But everybody's against Trump and saying he's dragging us. Yeah, he's the only president in my lifetime that has never took a salary. He don't need our money. He's already rich. What's he need our money for? There's video of him back 20, 30 years ago saying that he would run it the exact same way he's been running it. And he's doing a fine job. All right, let's see here. Let's get away from the politics a little bit. Let's do some funny videos. Show. That's one.
I'm a clergy woman.
It is.
I'm a clergy woman. I'm a Presbyterian, and I just moved here from Northern California, and I'm really afraid for democracy, and I hate that, you know, authoritarianism and oligarchs are running this country now, and it's against everything I believe Jesus stood for.
Okay. Did you protest any of the Biden administration's actions actions or stances as a clergy woman in the Presbyterian Church?
Yeah, I wasn't happy with some of his stuff, but most of it, you know, I've always supported peace, and I've always supported democracy, and I've always supported caring for the less fortunate, because that's what Jesus did. He cared about the vulnerable people, you know, and he told us to do that as disciples. So.
Have you ever protested a pro-choice rally?
No, because I'm a member of Clergy for Choice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile what Jesus teaches about knitting children in their mother's wombs? And
Jesus never said anything about children in mother's wombs.
Okay.
He always cared about people that were vulnerable. And
do you think children in the womb count?
A lot of people disagree about when life begins.
What do you say?
But I think, like the early church fathers did, that after the first trimester, not until the baby moves. And a lot of religious traditions believe in a woman's right.
Which early church fathers believe that?
I'm trying to think. I think Origen. I think Augustine. Anyway.
You think they believed? You think they believe that they would be pro-choice today?
Well, they believe in a woman's right to choose. It's her body.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Thank you. Eva. Gotta take my collar off.
The most important thing is freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah, freedom. I feel as an 83-year-old lady that has lived through many problems and many wars, that Scotty beamed me up and set me down in a different country. I don't recognize the USA since Trump has taken over. This is not the United States. This is not how I was brought up or how anyone should be brought up. We should respect one another. We should care for one another as Jesus did. I am a Christian, and I am appalled.
Is Trump your president?
He's my elected president, but he's not acting like a president.
He's not acting. Why not? What do you think is the biggest qual that you have with Trump?
He's not using the law appropriately to figure out how to handle problems that may be, in fact, in place in our agencies. Rather, he's taking a destruct and maybe reconstruct position, and that is wrong under the law, and certainly not what we elected him to do.
What law do you think he might be breaking in doing this?
Well, I'm a former lawyer. I can give you a whole list of them, but start with the Administrative Procedure Act. You can't get rid of regulations just by fiat. You can't take monies away from people who have been earning a wage in their employment. You can't dismiss people when they have rights under the federal employee laws. There, it goes on and on. He's breaking every one of them.
He doesn't want to mess with you.
Well, no, he doesn't.
Breaking the laws. I could bet you anything she is not a higher up lawyer. She's probably just a family court lawyer. We got another one here.
I'm a clergy woman. I'm a
Sorry.
Michigan has everything you need. If you want a beach...
Do the one with the lady with the weird hair.
You have to stop asking me if I'm a man or a woman, because if my dad is a man and my mom is a woman, that would mean that I'm mixed. So what's like
I'm deleting this damn app. I swear, I'm going to take up knitting or scrapbooking. Hell, I heard Walmart was hiring. I still got nothing.
So we're all mixed. Does that mean none of us are male, female? According to the left, yes. I can't even.
Play the video with the lady in the pink and talk about it.
I'm a clergy woman.
Democrats still insist that federal.
That's it.
Oh, is it?
Democrats still insist that federal law enforcement is the enemy instead of the criminals in our country illegally who continue to make heinous headlines like these by attacking our citizens. This has always been about getting out the worst of the worst. But instead, hardworking Americans had to feel the pain of a Democrat Party that puts them last.
Let's dissect that a minute.
Democrats still insist that federal law enforcement is the enemy instead of the criminals in our country illegally who continue to make heinous headlines.
That's the problem with America. The Dems are going to run this place into the country if they can only get away with it if they want. We got to stop them.
After 9/11, Iran said the next attack would come from them.
If you look at it, after 9/11, which happened 25 years ago, Iran warned us. Tried to, I guess, is what you'd consider it. Our next attack's not going to come from abroad. It's going to come from within, which the Biden administration letting tens of thousands, millions of people in has made that possible. Luckily, we have Trump, who is removing illegals, as many as they can find by the thousands. Look at how many small, little terrorist attacks we've had. It's not good. Our country is too beautiful to just throw away like that. All right. On another note, let's move on. As I said in the beginning, I'm from Michigan, and I follow these guys. Many people probably do.
Michigan has everything you need. If you want a beach holiday in the summer, you can come here. If you want a winter ski holiday, you can come here. If you want a lake holiday, you want to surf the lakes, you can come here. You can do anything, basically. It has everything. It has all 5 seasons. Packed for 4 and you've still not packed right. Yeah. We came over to Michigan in January, experienced the winter, me and Josh. We traveled the proper Michigander way and explored, dived into all the crazy stuff you can do in the winter, experienced the elements. So this trip was more about reaching out to people, Michigan-based people, and all the different towns and tourism industries and stuff, and trying to unlock as many doors as possible so that the summer trip when we come back, we can do some cool stuff, I don't know, whether it's firing the cannons on Mackinac Island or something like that. So it's just about building connections and trying to build an epic summer trip. Yeah, we're really excited about it. Yeah.
Anything else standing out as potential summer activities or stuff that's bringing you back?
I think firing the cannon at Mackinac Island sounds pretty cool. We can't wait to do that. Maybe we should do dressed as redcoats, or it might be a bit, it's the 250th year, so maybe not.
Mackinac Island. It's Mackinac. That was from my local news channel, 9 and 10 News. I live in a small town northern Michigan, where until yesterday, day before yesterday, we still had snow on the ground. We still have some out back in our woods. But it is currently 38 degrees and raining. But yeah. Alright, that is all I'm going to do for today. I will be following up, and I promise it will get better. Maybe a little bit nervous. Noob. That's what my wife called me. But I look forward to engaging and hopefully watching this thing grow. Thank you. That is all I have.